hear the sound, I hear the sound of the morning star. I hear the sound, oh, I hear the sound of the morning star.
It's the sound of the glory of the Lord among the trees of the garden. It's the sound of the presence of the Lord in the midst of the garden.
I hear the sound, I hear the sound of the morning star. I hear the sound, oh, I hear the sound of the morning star.
It's the sound of the glory of the Lord among the trees of the garden. It's the sound of the presence of the Lord in the midst of the garden.
An oracle concerning the forthcoming presidential elections in the Democratic Republic of Congo. 2. A warm and welcome handshake with Vladimir Putin in Nigeria. 2 prophecies released in this address and broadcast, today being the 30th of November 2023. Keep silent before me, O coastlands, and let the people renew their strength. Let them come near and let them speak. Let them come near together for judgment. Who raised up one from the east, who in righteousness called him to his feet, who gave nations before him and made him rule over kings, who gave them as the dust to his sword, as driven stubble to his bow. I have raised up one from the north, and he shall come from the rising of the sun. He shall call on my name, and he shall come against princes as though mortar, as the potter treads clay. Remember the former things of old, for I am the Lord and there is no other. I am God and there is none like me, declaring the end from the beginning, and from ancient times, things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure, calling a bird of prey from the east, the man who executes my counsel from a far country. Indeed, I have spoken it, I will also bring it to pass. I have proposed it, I will also do it. The forthcoming presidential elections in the DRC, the Democratic Republic of Congo, will be very volatile and inflammable, like a time bomb wanting to happen, if caution and restraint is not exercised. It will be very bloody. The election will be an implosion, an explosion at the same time, that will degenerate into a fight and bloodshed, that even foreign nations and their diplomats who will try to mediate or intervene will have their own blood spilled. I see the fingers of such mediating and interfering nations cut off, bleeding profusely and stained with blood in the DRC. The blood of foreigners and certain powerful foreign delegations and envoys will be shared in the Congo. I see two men, rival political heavyweights, contending in the presidential elections of the DRC. Two strong and bitter contenders who were former close friends in the past, but now in the race for the seat of the president. These two men were close friends. They worked together in the past. I saw that they worked together in the past, but now they are sworn enemies and they are going to fight dirty and bloody, like cat and dog, like two pythons bent on killing and swallowing each other by all means. The solution for the Congo problem, is with my God, not in Europe. Africa will shake and will be moved by what will happen in the Congo. And I hear two words, Dutch and Nigeria. Two words, Dutch and Nigeria, that will play significant roles and weigh influence to determine the course of direction for the DRC. But the solution, as I said earlier on, is with my God and has been kept for the appointed time. The Lord Almighty will descend upon the DRC and upon many parts of the continent of Africa, of this continent called Africa. And the Most High will shake and rattle Africa in smoke, and he will be glorified. The Most High, God, is about to shake the continent of Africa. Africa will be shaken by a high hand and by a mighty power, and the desire of the nations, so that the desire of the nations, even the desire of Africa, will come. Now, a warm and welcome handshake with Vladimir Putin in Nigeria. The Most High has a job for President Putin of Russia to do in Nigeria and in Africa as a whole. And no one can stop him. The doors of Africa welcome Vladimir Putin. The doors of Africa welcomes you. The gates of Africa are hereby open to Putin, and a red carpet of honor is hereby laid and spread for President Putin in Nigeria. Africa will embrace Putin, and Vladimir Putin will shake hands with destiny in Nigeria. In Africa, for a job he will do for the Lord Most High. I hasten the feet of Vladimir Putin. I bring him into Nigeria and into Africa for this job and divine assignment he has for the Lord. The nation of Nigeria will shake his hands warmly, and Africa will welcome him and his mission to the glory of the Father.
Hear the sound of the Lord God walking in the midst of the garden. It's the sound of the deity in the midst of the temple. It's Trinity's special hour. It's the cool of the day. I hear the sound of the thunderstorm. I hear the sound, I hear the sound of the thunderstorm. I hear the sound.
It's the sound of the glory of the Lord among the trees of the garden.
I hear the sound of the showers of the Lord.
Sound of the presence of the Lord in the midst of the garden.
I hear the sound of the rowers of the Lord.
Sound of the glory of the Lord among the trees of the garden.
I hear the sound of the billows of the Lord.
Sound of the presence of the Lord in the midst of the garden.
I hear the sound of the breakers of the Lord.
Sound of the glory of the Lord among the trees of the garden.
See the flashes of the lightning of the Lord.
Sound of the presence of the Lord in the midst of the garden.
I hear the sound of the rivers of the Lord.
Sound of the glory of the Lord among the trees of the garden.
I hear the sound of the voices from the throne.